But first, the big tradable players for this trade deadline are with the Cubs. Last week, we examined Chris Bryant, what he was not. Today, we'll get into his big night last night. But first, the mercurial performer, Javi Baez of the Cubs. Let's do a little digging in. It is an era of cookie-cutter batting machines, right? Oh, we love this guy. The plate discipline of Joey Votto being passed down to a new generation of players groomed in year-round baseball training. Players like Joey Gallo, Tommy Pham, Juan Soto, guys who know the strike zone with incredible precision. It had taken over baseball like a wave of highly trained and efficient mental athletes. So, I'm here to tell you, Javi Baez is not that guy. And that's good, and that's bad. Javi Baez is the worst contact hitter in baseball. He is dead last in contact rate, #1 in swinging strike percentage. Now, I mentioned Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers. Gallo, like Baez, is a big swing and miss guy with a big swing. But Gallo doesn't chase, and he's one of the league leaders in walks. Baez swings and misses, chases, and doesn't walk either. All those things. Here is just chase rate, swing percentage over the last 2 seasons. The short season last year and a little over the half the year this year. And as you can see, you can be on this list and succeed as a hitter. Salvador Perez, who's #1. He's been a very good power hitter the last 2 seasons. He's #1. Tim Anderson is a very productive hitter. Bo Bichette is a good hitter. So Baez does that, and he does hit for power. He's hit 34 homers and 40 doubles in a single season in his career. His low walk, high strikeout, big power output is reminiscent of several high-variance players. Let's take a trip back through time. Dave King Kong Kingman in the 1970s led the league in homers twice, strikeouts 3 times. Andre Dawson in the 70s and 80s. Like Baez, he could steal bases, was an exceptional fielder. His strikeout rate, while high enough to be in the league top 5 twice, was not at the level of Baez. And then you saw him there briefly, Alfonso Soriano from the early aughts. Soriano hit a lot of home runs, stole bases, struck out a ton, everything in volume, not a good defender. So here we go. How does Baez compare to these players? Here are all 4 on their slash lines through their age 28 seasons. That's where Baez is now. And actually, Dawson and Soriano had higher batting averages than Baez. Take a close look there. I'll give you a chance to look at everything. Their on base is a good bit higher. Dave Kingman is the closest comp. On base, near 300, slugging up near 480. Of course, slugging 480 in the 70s was harder than it is now. So Kingman had a 114 OPS plus. Baez is just at 103. What I also found very interesting here when I did the research, the numbers that you see here for Kingman, Dawson, Soriano basically did not change as they played through their 30s. The career slash line for all 3 about the same as their slash line, as you see here, through age 28. Their plate discipline did not improve. All right, back to Baez. 2020, strange season, 2 months, no fans, dealing with the pandemic, so we can write it off. But Baez's walk rate this year is still at his career norm, and his strikeout rate is at a career high. So we have a 3-year period that looked like the beginning of a great career for Javi Baez, but that now stands out as a possible peak in his career. 2017 to 2019, Javi Baez hit 282, the on-base 320, slugging a robust 525. Over the last 2 years, his lost year in 2020 that we can write off, and this year to date, he's hit 228, and he's slugging 434. Again, the short season did not help him. He needed a big bounce back in his contract year, and that hasn't quite happened. Now, I feel like I've been telling you everything Javi Baez isn't. He lacks a lot of the skills of the modern star player. But what about what Javi Baez is? And what he is a plus base running, elite fielding shortstop. His base running runs right now is at nearly 3. That's good for 14th in the National League. His sprint speed, according to StatCast, is still about the same level 5 years ago. His fielding just 2 years ago was state of the art. In 2019, Baez finished at a staggering 31 defensive runs saved, leading all shortstops. The StatCast metric agreed, as he finished with 28 outs above average. That's incredibly high. This year, numbers not at that level. He's +4 in DRS, -1 in outs above average. With his offense sliding, he will need superior defensive metrics to save his value. Now, if you widen the lens and you put all aspects of production together, Baez is still a high-level performer. Since the start of 2017, here are the WAR leaders at shortstop. And this, as we often say, is a golden age of shortstops. Baez is 4th behind Francisco Lindor, Trevor Story, and Marcus Semien, who is playing second base this season, just ahead of Carlos Correa. This is good company. As he approaches the trade deadline and free agency, I think Javi Baez is the most difficult player to assess, a player with the highest variance in performance.